gimmick or not? Will it work.com? Will it start.com? You're about to find out at the Gunsons Trakrite. Yeah, it is Trakrite. It's actually going to be any good. Let's check it out. You put it on the floor, you drive over it, the needle deflects, it tells you if your tracking's right. They're 80 quid, so they've got to be good. Join us. Mk3 Cortina City, and welcome to a little mini video. A little bit of chat, a little bit of random garage work. We're going to do the tracking on Tina G. We're going to roll Ruby out. There's Ruby. Ruby is our maize yellow machine. We've got the Gunsons tyre tracking device. Look at this, folks. Whoa. Drive on and get yourself a reading of your tracking. Now, if you've been watching the videos, you'll know that I did the tracking approximately just using the string method. That's a axle stand with some string, bringing the parallel string from the back wheels to the front to approximate your tracking when you're putting a new steering rack on, or indeed when you're doing track rod ends. So the string came through and we held the wheels parallel to the string, adjusted accordingly, so the string struck both wheels perpendicular, and that gave us approximate tracking on Tina G. Ruby here is of course already set up perfectly, no tyre wear over the thousands of miles that it's done, or rather no uneven tyre wear. But Tina G's just had its power steering rack fitted, it's had new track rod ends, so we've approximated that, but we want to get it exact. It seems okay, it drives straight. However, it'd be nice to make use of this Gunsons drive on, drive off, Trakrite. Will it work? So we've got that to do. We've got Simone from iDriver. No. Simone from Hooked on Classics, now changed the name to Cortina and Classics. We've got an MP3 conversion to do on an 8-track for her. That goes out as soon as we can. The bench is getting ready for that. We've got, oh, the choice. Step outside and the yard is full. There's Tina G. We've got KP. We've got the fastback. New project. What? You say? What? What is going on? Have I gone to the dark side? Explanations forthcoming. We've got Swampy and we've got Bramble in the stable on trickle charge. Nothing to do to them today. We've got to do on KP, Papa. We've got to do a check on the PCV system, the crankcase ventilation. I've got a feeling that this car needs that looking at. We've got an oil change to do on it as well. I'm curious about the breather pipe and the catch can. I just think that, I'm sure it's blocked. We're going to find out. So there's that to do as well. I think we better put some air in that tyre. So yeah, we've got to get that rolled in, but before we can do any of that, we have to roll out this car. We'll do that now. And who's coming in first? I think Tina G comes in first. Why not? For the Gunson. So this is a little mini video. It's not part of the current series we've got going. It's just Pete on a bank holiday Monday with some spare time to do some of those little interesting jobs. Just keep ticking them off the list. Trickle charge on Ruby, connected up here to the unit. We've extended the cables on this. It's quite a good little charger, this Holford's one. It's done me well. I extended the cables. I had a knackered battery charger and I pinched the cables off it to make a nice long cable, really long, about 5 meters there. So you can just hook up with these great crop clips. Look at them beasts, they're proper. They are properly built. Lovely connection to your battery there. Nice. So that's the score on the door. A roll in and a roll out. Just a little cozy piece to camera before we start from Pete C. Loads of questions been coming in on the comments. I think I should do a live chat really one day everyone wanted it to come back. I've got to get the laptop set up for that. I haven't got a webcam. It's one of those things on my shopping list. Get a webcam and do the live chats. I think maybe I will, maybe I won't. I should have put this window down so I could use it as a handy elbow rest. Can we do it there? No, we can't do it there. So yeah, we're about to undergo the Gunsons Trakrite roll-on, roll-off ferry. Talking of ferries, I won't be getting a ferry to Gibraltar. You can get off from Portsmouth to Santander, Portsmouth to Bilbao. I'm not sure if it is Portsmouth. Definitely one of the southern ports. You can go through Ireland that way and get the ferry, but I've heard the ferry is a bit dodgy. So I'm going to go through France in Tina G, and it's probably going to be October when this happens, if we can get the car done in time. What's to do on Tina G? At this point you're ahead. Those videos have been going out months ago, so that's why you'll see some like continuity issues, or not issues, but you know, you'll notice things have changed in the environment. So that's just because of the time delay, but it doesn't matter if I jump you ahead. Because I'm not giving away any secrets of the videos. They're all just great Pinto rebuild videos. There's all the starter motor build. There's been some good stuff on this series, and it's all upcoming. It's all upcoming. Camera cut off then. We thank you for the super chatters and the super thanks when they give them little ding ding donations. So keep them coming, it helps. As you know, YouTube pays us no money. Patreon keeps the whole boat floating. Without Patreon we definitely would be sinking. So thank you Patreons for sticking with us through the dark times. So yeah, the trip through France, I'll enjoy that anyway. Probably do 2 nights there. I might go through Paris for a laugh. That's going to add a day to the mission, but I do like Paris, so I'll be there on my lone wolf mission through Paris. If I can't get Andy on board, hopefully I can. You might be remembering that Andy, the lens, my photographer friend, is assisting me on the trip if he can make it, but it's all down to days, deadlines, schedules. He's a busy guy. Let's hope so. If not, Pete's on his lone mission across the continent in Tina G. So Tina G will go through France, of course, and then down through Madrid, heading on our way to the Rock, and all the things that we've been doing on the car in this series. I'm just going to put my feet up on here if that's all right. It's better. I've just been for a run, so these legs need a little bit of a stretch out. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the trip, and I've enjoyed doing the rebuild and revisiting some of the things I've always wanted to get better at in terms of cam belts. I've learned how to do valve clearances. I've learned how to change stem seals, and that CVH stem seals are the best. And I've learned how to fix an exhaust with a brazier, repair a starter motor. That was good fun, enjoyed that. An attempt at fixing a prop, kind of half worked. You'll see that in the videos. We nearly did it. I've done some electrical work. I've learned about alternators a little bit more. Been removing some annoying rattles out of the car. I've just been going around just tidying up Tina G and tightening it up. It needs some body work. There's some rust issues, nothing major, but they're there. So loads of things. It's been real good fun. It's kept me occupied, and I needed to be kept occupied. So it's been good for. It's good for that. Good for the mind. My camera, by the way, seems to be set on a limited amount of recording time. I'm going to investigate the settings. So anyway, this little clip there was just to introduce you to the forthcoming clips on this little mini video, and it was a bit of an update where we are, what we're up to on the 26th of August. So have I covered everything there? I hope so. Except all I've got to say is thank you for all those comments that came in. Oh, did you like it? We could talk about the 90s video if you want. You know, times. It's free on YouTube, you can watch at no cost. That 90s video that just went up, okay, done in the rollover between 92 and 93, so some of it would have been end of 92, November, December, and I think another part was January 93, showing Southport as it was then. So you see all those 90s cars just driving around and parked up, and 80s cars, because obviously that was the thing then. I'm looking at the town and how it's changed. I don't think that it's changed a great deal. Our coast has changed a lot because the sand became salt marsh when they stopped dredging the River Ribble. So that part of the landscape had changed. Other than that, buildings wise and stuff, it's all very, very similar. Just, I suppose the biggest thing that you'd spot on that 90s was, I suppose, the music and all the amount of cars driving around. You remember it as it was, and I think the audience that we've got on this channel is peaking in the 90s. Most of us in our 50s now, the 90s being the last good decade. I think you'll agree with that. 80s was good too, 90s was the last good time. We all seem to be agreeing with this. As it went into the millennium, downhill we go, and it's gone worse ever since. Of course, then when the iPhone came out and social media came out, that was the end. You may argue you need social media for YouTube. Of course it is. It's a paradox for me, an oxymoron if you will, that my social media is YouTube, but I haven't got any other. I don't want any other. I don't want swipes, likes, thumbs up. We get them on the videos, of course we do. Is that my limit to it? It is. But the iPhone came along. First you had text, of course. The Motorola Brick without text. Hello, goodbye. So a phone for me is conversation, not text. Text is handy, but I'm not very good with texting. I don't really like the concept. It's all right, but everyone seems to agree that if you go to a restaurant, you get, quite often anyway, people like this, and they are addicted to the phone. Even some of us could be. Even some of you watching could be. And you can see why with the positive feedback loop, the endorphin loop. So as the like comes in, the brain gets the endorphin hit. It doesn't last very long. And then chase the next one, the validation, all the rest of it. Use and abuse, of course. Some people are better at it than others. You can put it down, and that's the real thing. I know most of the people I've known in my life are good with that. Put it down. But the generation coming up, no disrespect, because it's just the way that it is, born with the phone, don't know any other way. I wonder if there's a parallel where it's just an age thing. So here's us lot in our 50s. Would the generation before us say the same thing, say about the telephone or the written word? You know, we've got email, and now email's not fashionable. An email replaced writing a letter. When's the last time you wrote a letter? Or even just got a pen and wrote a substantial amount of text with that pen, not just ticking a box on a form or filling out a form, more a letter to your girlfriend or your wife or something like this. When's the last time that happened? It's not, it's just text. You can use or you can abuse this, and that's, the 90s didn't have that. So my point was about the 90s video, that didn't exist. We functioned perfectly well. You could argue better. Has the iPhone, well, has smartphones, let's not pick on the iPhone, well, that was the pioneer. Has the smartphone ruined society, or has it improved it? If it could be an age thing, then us lot in our 50s would probably say it's ruined it. Things are so easy and disposable with it. Things are such an easy commodity with it. People are commodities with it. You can just consume through. Not to mention, you know, dating apps, not to mention shopping, not to mention the way that you'll get caught in a loop of endorphin, whether it's buying stuff. But then eBay's so good, isn't it? You know, eBay's so good, and the banking app on your phone is so good. So it has got its place. Is it just an age thing? We don't know. For me, it's possibly an age thing where I just don't want to accept that things have changed. Life is all about adapting and growing with changes. It's what you do with them, I think, how you filter them, how you interpret them. So, you know, perhaps it's a bit harsh to say that the smartphones ruined society. That might be a bit harsh and biased towards me and my particular age in life, who knows? But there you go, smartphones then. You're probably watching on one, so you know, what do you do, where do you go, where do you take this? I think overall, I think there's one point that everyone will agree on, and that's is you shouldn't take it to the restaurant. Because when do you have some proper time with your friends, partners, family, without that? You know, and is it right to park your child in front of an LCD? Well, they're not even LCD screens anymore, they're much more advanced than that, but to park them in front of a screen and just to shut them up, you know, is that right? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. You know, do people socialise together like they used to? No, I don't think they do. You know, in the old days, like what about the sing-songs and the get-togethers? I mean, the Irish culture has got a great side to it where they have these family sing-songs, grandma, the grandkids, they're all together, not just in that culture, but in many, sort of whole families together, sing-song, you know, and that would not involve these phones, you know, bonding with your family and stuff. So I think we'd all agree that bringing it, at least this is just one point out of all of this, is that you shouldn't really bring it into the restaurant. And another one I really hate is when you watch live footage of a gig. Could be your favourite band, you know, in my case would it be Pink Floyd, but they'll never tour again. So let's say just a rock concert for me, I like rock concerts, everyone's holding the phone up like that and they're not watching. Some artists have banned phones from the gig, great idea. Some restaurants have banned phones in the restaurant, great idea. Anyway, that was that. Bit of a ramble there. Let's get to this. I'd like to know where that squeak's coming from, or where it is. It's not there. Anyway, in comes Tina G. Down there on the floor, you can't see it. It's the Trakrite. It's the Gunsons Trakrite. Let's hold it up. Gimmick or not? Will it work.com? Will it start.com? You're about to find out if the Gunsons Trakrite. Yeah, it is Trakrite. It's actually going to be any good. Let's check it out. You put it on the floor, you drive over it, the needle deflects, it tells you if your tracking's right. They're 80 quid, so they've got to be good. Join us. So, according to this, we have a deflection of 0.5. That's not bad given Pete C's string method. And we just mentioned that string method. You want to hear about that string method again? You get an axle stand or something similar. You tie string to it. You get the string to be parallel across the middle of your back wheel. You bring the string to the front and you get it to just touch this tyre, and you adjust your tracking until the tyre is parallel with the string. And curiously, in Tina G's case, and I don't really know why this is, the front wheels are narrower than the back. I've no idea why. It's crazy. One day I'm going to find out. Either all my cars are like that, or just this one. I don't know. It looks like the front wheels are narrower. Is this right? If you've got a Cortina, get out in your garage now and put my mind at rest. Okay, so a deflection there, which means we need to tow this out, point it out a bit. And I suppose, looking at it, it does look like it's pointing in a little bit. I'm not going to know that it's been wrong because I'm not enough miles to scuff them tyres up. However, it's quite a simple procedure to just grab the track rod, not the track rod, but grab the steering bar link and you just rotate it a little bit. You just grip it and turn it. Undo the locking nut on the track rod end. Now, do you do it with the gauge still on? Is that how they want you to do it? It would be very handy if that's the way that they want. It doesn't actually say that there, but I'm wondering if, I mean, it does look like it would start to turn, so I'm wondering if you actually use this now live, you know, and just watch the gauge. It'd be handy if that was the case. I think I'll try that. I'll be right back. With just these, which should be good to go. Now, there's a bit of oil on the floor there. Where's my trusty cardboard, or at least a blanket? No, I haven't got it. Oh my, what am I going to do? I'm going to do the usual thing. Look who it ain't covered in paint. Pete C's going to get oil all over him as usual. Hold on a sec. You stay on. We keep you running. And Pete does his usual increased volume as he walks away from the camera, so we get consistent volume levels. And look at these tiles, folks. These are great. If only we could use the washing machine indoors and not get in any trouble for it. But it'll wreck the washing machine with oil. So shall we sneak down to the laundrette once all these are soiled and use the local laundrette and wreck their machine? Yeah, we'll do that. Right, I slide underneath and I'm gonna, this may be wrong, and we could Google up, couldn't we? We've got the internet, you know, talking of social media on the little bramble ramble. Uses and abuses of social media. Please, social media, tell me how to adjust the tracking. Undo the lock nut on the track rod control arm. Grab the steering link arm. My back to you, I'm sorry about that. Can I do this in a more polite way? Dodging the oil spills of all Pete C's leaking engines. I've been cutting them leaks down. Oh, that's a bit of a workout as well. Give me 1,000. Grab and go. Now which way? I can see that down it's going to take us. So it wants to go out, so that should be upwards. So I'm going to begin turning this now and see what I get on that gauge. I'm looking at the gauge. I'll take you to the gauge now. You're going to go across for a gauge view live. Be right back. So small on your screens, folks. Pete C can't do anything about it except zoom in. I can only hope that my steering was straight when I did this. Am I going down or am I going up? Ground floor, hosiery, second floor, confectionery. Going up. Going up. Mr. Man, no, that's not Mr. Manning's, the wrong film. Humphreys, Mrs. Slocum. Mrs. Slocum. Come on, Mrs. Slocum. Point, did you get the sitcom? You seen any gauge movement out there, folks? Give me a bit of pride. I'm seeing nothing. I don't think this works like we want it to. This is too many turns now for such an apparent small adjustment that's needed. I am turning the arm. I don't want to unscrew it out the end of the track rod, and that would not be good. Right, this is a second attempt. There we go, we're on. And it looks like we're set on naught. Hold on. So according to this, we've now set it. It does look straight, I must admit. It seems to be true. Okay, got 0 on this one now. So what I worked out is jam it under the tyre and then drive on. Stops it skidding along the floor. So that needed a little bit of adjustment, but that's in. Whether it's affected the other side, we don't know. So we'll just drive over the other side again, see if that's still on 0. And then a visual look at it. To me, does it look like the other one, it's affected the other side? It does a bit, but it's deceiving. It does look like that's pointing inwards, but it is deceiving. I would say that wheel looks like it's pointing inwards. What does this one look like on the 0? Difficult to say. Very difficult to say. I can only put it on the other side now, and maybe this is what you have to do backwards and forwards with these things until you get it just right. I wouldn't like to be doing this loads and loads of times because you end up just thinking, oh, sod it, I'll just go to garage. So it's got to be pretty easy, but now I'm jamming it under the wheel, it is a bit easier to do. So let's see. Okay, an update for you. Forget trying to start the car and drive it off and on, which is just too much messing around and trying to hold on to the brake. I found a better way. I don't know if this is what they want you to do, is roll on, roll off with your bare hands. Roll on, roll off with your bare hands. Everything's squeaking and creaking here. Then there's a line, centre line marked on it, which you line up with the centre of your tread, and I'm just pushing under a little bit, setting it on 0. I suppose you don't have to push under a little bit because I'm rocking back, and I'm actually drawing the car onto it by pulling on the bumper. Now, not all cars you'll be able to do this because it happens that the Cortina bumper's handy, so I can put my foot just in front of the plate as well, then roll on, just about. Let's try again. There we go, slowly on, and the gauge is still on just over 0. I'm going to go with that. That's okay. It's saying too much toe out, which would mean one slight turn inwards for this, and that is it for that one. But does it affect the other side when you do this side? In which case is it kind of like a just one in. the only way to find out is to go, the other side was exactly right, push back and try, excuse me, push back and try, you have to spin it round. We'll go to the other side now. This is definitely one of those easy when you know how situations. We get them from time to time on the city, and you get them from time to time in your life as well. Easy when you know how. So you just pull the car off and on and go either side and just keep tuning it in until both sides come in right. So you've just got to play with either side. So I'm setting up on 0, pushing it in line, set up on 0. If you had a grippier floor, this would be better. My floor is a little bit smooth. So with the bumper, I'm going to come on and roll on. There we go, we're on. And watch that gauge, hardly moves, almost on exactly on 0. It's in the OK markings on the gauge, so that side's good. And I think this is how they want you to do it. So take this to the other side now. May as well, do you want to stay live this time? Come on then, stay live. I know some of you love it when I just keep the camera rolling. It's so crazy you lot out there. You're crazy. Loads of clicking and crunching, sorry about that, because that's the tripod creaky crunchy. So we're back here in the OK zone. This one was out by a couple of degrees on the gauge and I've turned it in, so this hopefully is now exactly right as well, which means we're done. So how good it is, we're never going to know. That's all lined up, so push pull then for your little workout. Will it have drifted a lot? I expect it would have drifted a little bit. Actually not drifted because I haven't adjusted the other side, that was bang on. On we go. Oh wow, right on 0 folks. We are now set with the Gunsons Trakrite. It looks like that's it. And the wheels do look parallel. We're going to stand from the back of the car, although I don't think this is going to be a definitive super duper check, everybody. But let's just look down the line of sight. Yeah, it looks straight. The only way is to drive it. Of course, it will have adjusted the steering wheel position, which is why I never set it exact when I've been driving around. So the Gunsons Trakrite, roll on, roll off with your own hands. It's better than trying to drive on the car. If you can push your car on, I think that's how they wanted you to do it. Be interesting to just go on the internet and see if people have had the same experience as me with this and they've ended up rolling the car on. I don't know. Because, you know, when I'm trying to park the car, I was using the handbrake. As soon as you put your foot on the brake, you're messing all this up because the wheel's locking. So that's not a good thing. So rolling it on with the bumper, tyres inflated properly, of course, on a smooth level surface seems to be the way for the Gunsons Trakrite. And of course, update for you on the AI. The YouTube can now detect your speech within the video and link the videos accordingly. It probably always could do that. So if I say Gunsons Trakrite, this video would search out eventually when it hits the search engines. Okay, we're on to something else. Do you know what we're on to? An oil change on KP today, folks. This is now done. There's not much else I can do here. An oil change on KP, and Tina G's booked in for paint. So we had an accident with Tina G here. I'm going to need a new bumper rubber. I'll have to get that from the Mk3 Owners Club. You can see I've scratched it. This bumper fell up. I've wrecked the bumper because KP reversed into it, because Tina G was stranded in the garden for a long time. Terrible situation, to be fair. Anyway, I really feel bad about that. Just the only time I've owned the car, certainly in the last 15 years where it's seen weather, I didn't like it. Yeah, I'm going to do a separate video about all the things that went wrong. I might do that today while I'm in the mood. All the things that went wrong with a laid up car. Okay, I'm going to get KP in next and do the oil swap and check KP's PCV valve. That one. In the meantime, Papa rolls into town Papa needs an oil change. The oil in it is really mucky and bad. It's had about 2-3 oil changes, I think, since I've put the engine back in. No, 2. So it wants an oil change. Also, I'm suspicious about the PCV. I've got a new filler cap just in case the other one's blocked. And now I've got it hooked up to the vacuum. We have this gauge. This is shown. You can get it out. It's shown on the other videos. You'll be seeing quite soon. However, here you go. This is Mk3's Cortina City special vacuum gauge to check the crankcase ventilation. You want to be drawing air through the top of the filler net in your crankcase. Sorry, in your rocker cover. It's going into the crankcase, drawing through. You've got an oil catch can on the side of the engine, which is connected to the vacuum line. It connects to the master vac port, not the secondary vac port, which is down near cylinder 4. You want to be drawing in the fumes out of the crankcase through the catch can, through the PCV valve into the catch can. You want to be burning all the fumes evenly across the inlet manifold. If you use the 4th hookup point, or the 2nd hookup point on your manifold, which is normally for the brakes servo, then you're not going to burn the fumes efficiently across all 4 cylinders. It's going to be burning the crankcase fumes on the last cylinder. I have seen these in the past. I've seen other people's cars, and the pipes are hooked up wrong. So yeah, you want to be on the master one, so then when the fumes out of the crankcase are drawn, they're burned out across all 4. To check the vac, a good vac is on this 20 cm. So cm of vacuum, a good vac's 20. It has got on here the PCV valve reading up to 5 inches of vacuum, just over 10 cm. On Tina G, it's 20 pulling through. So I would have expected this engine to do 20. However, this is a lot more tired, so we'll have to see what it pulls. It smells as well, this engine, and you know what? I think the engine oils are knackered in it. I also think the engine's on its way out, but we're going to have to see. I can hear a knocking noise. The oil pressure is not great on this, it's up to 40, but at idle the oil pressure really drops low, and very occasionally you can get the oil light to flicker at traffic lights when it's warm. So that's not a good sign. So really we're going to be looking at another Pinto rebuild, another engine for this. This has got us through, and it's fine for that. You know, it's done its job. It's got everything in motion, if you will. I have got a spare Pinto block 2 litre, so it's possible I'll start another build on that and then just swap them straight out, and then this will be a spare engine for a future rebuild. Let's crank this up. I'll stay. Do you want to stay live? You always like staying live? Well, may as well, and then I do the usual talk a bit louder over here. Right, so off you come with me. And you're going to see a vac build up. You hear that knocking as well. Over 10, so it's out of the range of the valve. That's about it. Okay, so I've made that. So there is a vac there. We'll go down and have a look at the pipe. Let's make sure the pipe's okay. Well, we've got that rattling. That's that valve there. We'll have to do our modification on that. They rattle. I've got a fix for that, a way to repair that noise. Okay, I'm going to check the valve, which is just round the side here. Right, I've extracted the pipe. The valve isn't the best PCV valve in the world. I don't think it's got a seal on that. It's a bit rattly, and the pipe's not the best pipe either. This pipe, I have put it on, that's me with a new piece of tube, but this hasn't took the heat very well and it's slightly collapsed. It's still working, but could do with better hose, really. I think I've got some thicker wall, and it's all down to the wall thickness size there, and where it can take the heat. So whilst that pipe does work, I think it could be better, and that valve's not the best. That's the old Ford type. There's an improved version of this you can get from Burton Power, which is a lot better valve than that. All we can do is have a little look at this. There's not much there. If I've not got the valve in stock, we're going to have to go with what we've got and just accept it. But I could go into store and see if I've got a piece of tube, and then I'll at least replace the tube, and then we'll do the oil change and the new cap on top. The oil's very smelly and burny, and I think the engine's getting tired personally myself, but it's going to do this. It'll run us for a few miles. It's only a local driving car, it's not a long distance machine. This just is not a long distance car as it stands. It's just, whilst everything on it's good, the engine itself, it doesn't like long distances. In fact, I went down to Cortina Day earlier in the year, and it made it down there all right, but it burned a lot of oil on that trip. Now, yes, the stem seals need doing on this, but is it worth doing the stem seals if we're going to be changing the whole engine? I don't know. I was going to take the head off. Could take the head off, inspect the engine. It might not be as bad as we think. We could do compression tests on this. There is a knocking noise I could take you through now, and we can all listen to that, and you can tell me in the comments what you think it might be. To me, it sounds like a little end knock. Is the oil pressure poor because the oil quality is bad? Let's see if that improves at all. Let's get on and do these things. PC at the controls. This is Cortina City. Right, so I've built this up with a new piece of hose, a better quality piece of hose. That stuff can take the heat. I haven't got a spare valve, I'm going to have to get one, so we'll go with that, put it back in, then we'll get the oil changed on this. Okay, so this basically replaced that hose for now. It looked like it was collapsing on me. See in a sec, we're going to fit this. I've tried everything. That's one of the trickiest things I've ever seen. And my torch has gone AWOL. I had to take the catch can out. That was tight. It's not normally. They're normally okay, but it's better than it is tight. But that's my nice interference fit. These catch cans, that wears away, and then they wobble on the engine block, and then they just go all over the place. That's why I didn't want to take it out, but I had no choice. I had to do it, folks. Let's put it back. Let's put it back in. Wow. Right, with the catch can in, and my hand's burned. I'm going to see if that new hose makes any difference to the vacuum. So what did we have? Over 10. It probably won't, but it's a better pipe, and I've routed it slightly differently as well. So it's a bit of a less kinky route. Talking a kinky or Coca-Cola machine is strictly X-rated. I'll give you a quick look at that. No, very naughty Coca-Cola machine. Yeah, it's got a naughty picture on it. Right, so let's fire it up. I'll take you over there, and then we'll drop the oil. That's it. Right, old hose not needed. That'll be needed in a minute. Battery's on charge. Fire it up. See if anything alters. Okay, a math goal. Nice and new. Okay, breathe away. Breathe away. Down and dirty and change the oil. Pipe's always managed to tangle with what? No, oh. No. No, 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 no. Oh, no. Where do you put bunches of cables? If you've got a cable box at home with computer cables in it, RJ45 cables in there, jack cables, old remote controls, batteries that you're not sure if they're flat or not. Batteries, is it flat, is it not? I don't know. Where'd you put all these things? In a box, and then you think, where's that cable? It's in my cable box. Cable box is what you need, with loads of different USB cables in there, cables for this, cables for that. Right, I'll get these untangled. I'm going underneath the car, but this spaghetti is all over me, and I don't know where to put it. There's nowhere. Let's get this gunk out of there. It's going to be hot, so watch your fingers. Will it be lucky you ain't covered in paint? Will we hit the target? We're on the target. Was that the little gasket gone in there? Oh no! Oh, the little gasket. This smells bad. Is the jack in the way? Yeah, the jack's in the way. Oh dear. It's okay because we can rest on the jack. That stinks. That is bad oil. Phew. Smells like petrol. I've got a feeling it's got ATF in there, you know. I ain't gonna do it any good. Tell you what, there wasn't any in there. Papa was about to run out. I think we need 3.5 litres of oil, folks. What a mess. That was horrible. Poor Papa's engine. At least I got onto it. I mean, I've got an oil pressure gauge, you see, so I was watching the pressure. It was okay. It was up to 40. That's terrible. That's got to be the downright worst oil we've ever seen. Oh, let's go over to our 20 litre tub and dispense. In fact, I've already got some decanted into this. So we're going to go off dipstick levels because we've no idea what's going on with this. And hey, I put that cap on. Whoa, Chinatown cap. Come on. Get it up there. It's okay. It is a bit Chinatown. Ford for me, please, for the caps. But there you go. What do? You know, you try and be a nice person and change the oil, and put a nice, lovely new cap on it. And what does it do? Falls to pieces. Right, all the oil's in. Let's fire it up. Okay, I'm calling it a day now, but before I go, let me know what you think about the oil pressure. Here we go. And that's also our vacuum, which gives us an idea of the compression rings. Just to the vacuum again. Any vacuum experts out there before I go? So yep, we shall now see you very soon. Thanks for watching this little miniature film, although it's probably a long film, you know, it's meant to be 10 minutes. PC is signing out, over and out for now. Enjoyed that little bit of it's just odds and sods and a little bit of a chat. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's get, oh, I'll take you back to the fleet, by the way. We're getting a bit of a traffic jam here. A little bit of a traffic jam. All the cars all lined up. Tina G will have to go back in for more work, but it's getting better all the time. We need to now go and test how good the steering is. Also, by the way, I forgot to say, I did find a loose ball joint on the steering rack when I was doing that, so I had to take the boot back and just nip it up. Ruby's fine. Just need some chrome trim replacing on that I got new old stock. See you all later on.